What's up? What's up, everybody? Y'all know what's up. Y'all know what time it is. Jamming with J Money. It's Friday. I hope y'all do have a job. You know what I'm saying? You're probably ain't at work. It's time to get some money, man. Y'all know how the Friday is, man. RIP to John Singleton. Let's get to some money, man. We got people already waiting on us in the chat. Like 20 people already waiting for. We already started the show, man. We appreciate that. Like I say, it's Friday. If it's payday, if it wasn't payday, we finna make it payday, man. Let's get to some money. How y'all doing, Junior?
I'm good, man. Good, man. I missed the show yesterday. I had an appointment, but I tuned in at the end, jumped in the chat a little bit. Had a pretty decent day yesterday with my picks. Thank you to Damian Lillard for missing that three and then fouling Kawhi Leonard right there at the end instead of letting the clock run out to help me cover. I had the Clippers -5.5, so that was a good look. I obviously got pretty lucky, but that's just part of this game. You know what I mean? So did good on that. How about y'all? How was your guys' day yesterday?
Oh man, my day was absolutely lovely. How was your day, Jordan? Before I recap my day.
Oh man, tough losses yesterday. The only two plays I had on the show both lost. That game just completely went crazy pace wise, and I had no chance from very early on in my first quarter, first half unders. But I did end up doing a little research and trying to player prop my way back to even, and I was almost there. I hit Zubac and Trez Harrell over rebounds last night. Zubac hit his over in the first quarter on his rebound, so I was well on my way to breaking even. And then Trez missed his over by one rebound. So ended up another losing day. It was 4 in a row losses for me, but I am absolutely fired up today. I am so pissed off, and when I get pissed off, I start getting better at handicapping basketball. So I'm ready to bounce back. I know I'm going to tail you guys on a couple of picks today, too. I just got a little bit of a light day. But yeah, yesterday was not great for me. Had a couple of spots that I was really keen on. It just didn't end up coming through for me. But those props, I think I was on the right track in that one. I think Trez coming off that back-to-back just didn't have a lot of energy as much as he needed. But enough for the Clippers, obviously, but not enough to get me my prop cash and even me up for the day.
Exactly. I know you're gonna come back with a vengeance. You know what I'm saying? After we take a few losses, it only pisses us off even more to make us go even deeper in the numbers. You know what I'm saying? And
Yep.
look for even better spots. And nobody likes to lose money. So you know what I'm saying? I know how you are, Jordan. I know how you rock. You're not gonna continue to take these L's. I would just say keep doing what you're doing. I know how you look at the numbers. All the plays that you make are damn good plays. They just don't happen to go our way all the time. But I still think that all the plays that you made were damn good plays. You know what I'm saying? It just didn't happen to pan out. We got Anthony Christopher in us, Jose Alfredo. Man, Jose, the first dude in here every single day. Jose, I appreciate you,
Mm-hmm.
man, for real. All you guys. Cedric Wimbush in here. We got Silver Gold. Say Cash and J Money. Yeah, man. Hey, Scotty Wop. We got I don't even want to try that one. What's up, Naeem 25? We got Recape in here. He always in here. Shadow. We got Chevy, bro. All you guys, man. Yesterday was a fantastic day. I needed that to get back, you know what I'm saying, right or whatever. Silver Gold say, where you at, Jay? I'm in Dallas, man. I'm in Dallas. D-Town all day, baby. Yesterday, the Celtics and the Hornets, we saw Kemba Walker obviously going back over there. You know what I'm saying? Got a little teary-eyed in the pregame, and when we know that was going to be a nice little game there. He started off slow. That's something to keep an eye on when the player goes back to his old team. You know what I'm saying? He had a terrible first half in that game, but it didn't matter. His team came to play. Like I told you guys, Celtics in the first half in the full game. We cashed both of them with ease. The Celtics came in there and handled up business. Yeah, Charlotte. Yeah, Kemba Walker been there all that the trivia video. Yeah, we came in here to handle business, and I told you guys defense was going to be the difference in that game. They held the Charlotte Hornets to 87 points. OKC versus the Spurs. Only one losing play yesterday for me. I had the Spurs in the first half, but I had the first quarter and full game as well. Like I say, took that loss in the first half, but that was a damn good game for the Spurs. Their backs against the walls, bounce back spot off 2 straight losses. And the Heat, the whole world was on the Suns yesterday. I mean, I understand why they were 7-0 ATS this season. Why bet against them? But I had good reason to, and I was all over the Heat in the first half and the full game. Cashed both of those as well with ease. Now the Heat going to play the Lakers tonight, and the Blazers, they were up on the Clippers, man. I mean, they came back in the second half and made it a game. Late free throws got the Clippers to cover there. It's pretty crazy how that one ended. Pretty tough if you had the Blazers plus 5.5 there, but the final score is the only thing that matters, man. On to today. No matter what happened yesterday, we on to today and get some more cash, man. Ronnie say live in 23 hours. Yeah, that's tomorrow's show, man. I'm sorry, I tweeted out the wrong show, but I did today's as well. we're going to go ahead and get into today's card. We got a large card here. You know what I'm saying? We're going to try to get as much money as we can, man. It's Orlando. We're going to start off with this Grizzlies and Orlando spot. I know the Magic been taking a lot of people money. You know what I'm saying? They have one of the worst offenses in the league. Still got number 2 defense in the league. And I still think that goes a long way. I think they can stay in any game. They match up very well versus this Grizzlies team. I think this may be a letdown spot for them. The Grizzlies, they hadn't won on the road yet. I think it's a tough spot. And I think that the Magic come out here with a sense of urgency. I like the Magic in the first quarter, and I'm leaning towards them in the full game as well. I hadn't got there. I might throw the money line, you know what I'm saying, to parlay with something else, but I definitely think that the Magic are winning this game. They've lost 4 straight, and I think they come out here with a sense of urgency. What you like in this game, Junior?
This is one of my official plays. I got Magic -2 first quarter. I just think that, I'm just betting the spot here. I think that after 4 straight losses, they come home with a sense of urgency, like you mentioned. And I think, they've got I don't want to say that he's a good head coach because in the 2 spots that he's been in, he's done a lot of losing. But he's not a bad head coach. The last time the Hornets were a decent team, Steve Clifford was their coach. He managed to get this team into the playoffs last year. But right now, they're falling way below expectations. And I think that at some point, he's got to be on the hot seat, right? They're 2-4. Their schedule's only going to keep getting harder. And I think that if you're Steve Clifford, you got to look at it in a situation where we're better than this team. We're home now. We got a homestand. We got to come here, set the tone, and get right. Memphis has been playing really well in the first half, which has kind of made me hesitant to touch this game because I've won some money this season, been in a lot of Memphis first halves. But I just think that if the Magic can't get this right, Steve Clifford's job could be in jeopardy. So I'm just going with the spot here. I just like Magic to come out strong at home, stop this losing streak.
Exactly. Any thoughts on this game, Jordan? You have a play on this game?
Man, I was ready to back the Magic too until I like exactly what Junior said. It's just my hesitancy because of how good Memphis has been, not only in the first half but the first quarter as well this season. They have the number 2 first quarter offense in the league through 7 games, so it's not a great spot, I think, but I do think it is a good one, good enough probably here for 2 points, like you guys said, because we talked about it on the last couple shows here. Talking about it for me today, I got some motivation to get right because I've taken 4 straight losses, so I know I'm ready to get right today. So if I'm feeling it, if the Magic are feeling like I am, I'm ready to back that first quarter, baby. But I think I'm going to stay away in this spot. I may look at it a little bit more here early on. I like where you guys both are headed in this one, but because of how good Memphis has been early in games, especially first quarter, first half, like Junior said, I think I'm going to lay off for now.
Exactly, yeah, and just like you say, I mean, you're feeling just like the Magic here. You know what your mindset is, Jordan. So it's pretty much the same way. They're coming in, like Junior said. I mean, you got Steve Clifford over there. I think he's a good coach, an underrated coach. It's pretty much the same team from last year. Like I said on Jimmy's show earlier, they won. They have a good home crowd over there, and you know what I'm saying, a nice little home edge. They won in their last 9 home games to end the season last year to make the playoffs. And this is, like I said, the exact same team. I think they come out here with a sense of urgency. I like the first quarter, and I think I had the wrong chat pulled up, man. I'm sorry. It was a little confusion with today's show, man. Anthony Christopher, M. Wims, Astute Chaos in here. What's up, Noli Knows? We got Swifty Mack in here. We got Gambit Rowe, Recape again, Reese. I appreciate you guys that was in the wrong chat, you know what I'm saying? And you guys still came in, hopping in with us. Hey, you give us an early view on tomorrow's show, man. It ain't no big deal. You know what I'm saying? But we're going to go ahead and get to this next game. One that I want to talk about, I got a bunch to say about this game. I ain't going to be too long, but damn, man, y'all know how I rock revenge game. Jay, if anybody knows me, man, revenge spot, double revenge here early in the season. They lost their home opener to this Pistons squad, you know what I'm saying? Then they went over there and played a tough game in Detroit versus me as well. Ended up losing that game by 2. They were two totally different games. In this one, I think they had D Rose in both of those games, and I think that's going to come to bite them in the ass in this spot here. Still no Blake Griffin as well, no Tim Frazier. It's going to catch up with them in this particular spot. They still hadn't won back-to-back games this year. They won last game versus the Knicks. So, I mean, they looking like they due for a loss here. I mean, they can't put together back-to-back 2 good games. Like I say, double revenge. They're starting to gel these past 5 games. Only loss for the Pacers was that overtime game where the refs kind of sort of screwed them over, you know what I'm saying, to the Hornets. It's the division rival that you can't lose this game. You can't go lose 3 straight games to your division rival early in the season at the house. When they beat you in your home opener, like I say, they weren't really ready to play them yet. I think that they've got some experience up under their belt. They're 4-0 ATS after allowing 100 points. They allowed 100 points last game. The Pistons are 1-5 ATS past 6 after ATS win. They're 0-5 ATS last 5 road games versus a winning team, and they're 2-8 ATS last 10 in Indy. I like the Pacers here early, and I like them often. I like them in the first quarter, first half, and full game. The Pacers should come out here and smash the Pistons and send them a message. Like I say, this is double revenge game, Jay, here. Any thoughts on this one, Jordan? I know you over there in Indiana, ain't you?
Yeah, man, my home squad right now, they've definitely looked a lot better lately as opposed to what they did the first, 3 games of the season or something like that. Their offense is really starting to click a little bit, and I think that was kind of, understood a little bit with this Pacers team that a lot of people forgot. It's just they had 8 new pieces this year. They're one of the highest turnover of any team in the league. That was a playoff team last year. So, I mean, you got to look at this team as a work in progress, especially, as I mentioned, every time we talk about this team, they are still without their best player, who is easily one of those guys that is worth, at least 10 points per 100 possessions in Victor Oladipo. But if you do look at their numbers lately over those last few games, their offensive rating is up to 109.2 in their last 5. So and like you said, they should have come in really winning 5 straight. But the Hornets, I think they shot 25 to 8 free throws or something like that in that game. It was ridiculous, that overtime loss. I won't get into that one anymore because that one still stings a little bit. But yeah, this Pacers team is probably in a pretty good spot tonight. And like you said, once again, here we go again. Motivation factor coming out, getting out to a good start, clicking on offense and getting a lead and playing style defense is the MO for this Pacers team. It's going to be how they win or how they lose every single week. Problem is, we don't really know if Miles Turner is going to play. He's a game time decision. That's a little bit of an issue because without him, I think Andre Drummond is going to go for about 25 and 25 tonight. Pistons don't have D Rose, obviously, and Frazier, so they're missing some of their ball handlers. They had both those guys and Reggie Jackson available the last 2 times these 2 teams played. But of course, Jeremy Lamb out for the Pacers as well. That hurts a little bit here. So I think the full game I'm a little scared off on. I might tell you, though, on that first quarter, though, I'm a big first quarter fan when it comes to these home teams coming out hot and needing to come out hot. So I do like that spot. I think of all if you're going with the trifecta, I like the first quarter definitely better than the half and the full game.
Exactly. Hey, that's my Indiana guy. He liking the first quarter as well. I think you should ride with me on that one, Jordan. I think that's a damn good play. And hey, if Miles Turner game time decision, you better suit up to play today, man. We're gonna need your big ass out there to bang with Drummond. We're gonna need him today. Any thoughts on this game, Junior?
I was thinking about taking the Pacers in the first half, but I'm going to wait a little bit longer just to see if Miles Turner plays. I just feel like, something that Jordan mentioned, Andre Drummond has just been absolutely dominant against these guys. He's been really dominant against most teams right now, but especially against the Pacers. He just seems to go off on these guys, and I feel like without Miles Turner, that's something I kind of just don't want to get involved in. Another thing that Jordan mentioned, I'm going to piggyback off of, I watched that Charlotte game, and that just left a bad taste in my mouth. I know that Indiana's won 4 of the last 5 games, so they look way better. But I just don't like how, there's something about this team that I just need to see them play more. I don't like the unknown of Miles Turner not being in this game. I do lean Pacers early, though, because I feel like without Derrick Rose, I feel like Brogdon, who's been playing actually a lot better than people give him credit for. It's almost like he's going under the radar with the stats that he's putting up. I think he could get off in this game. I think Domantas Sabonis, as good as Drummond's been playing, Domantas Sabonis' skill set, he's still going to get off in this game. I like Pacers early, but I need to know what's going on with Miles Turner first, though.
Right. You see this line move from 6.5 to 7.5. I think he's gonna play, man. I think even if not, the Pistons, like I say, they already beat them twice. It's gonna be the back of their minds, man. These are some of the spots that I love. Obviously need Turner out there, but I don't think that the Pistons have enough offense. If the Pacers get off to a hot start, the Pistons don't have the offense to make a comeback in this spot. So I'm liking the trifecta in this one, and I hope it works out well for me. Turner or no Turner. You know what I'm saying? It's another game I want to get into. This Kings and Atlanta Hawks spot. I'm looking towards the Hawks here, man. They flipping the Kings to the favorite here. I mean, obviously people liking the Kings, they're going to put money on them. They threw it 3-0 ATS and straight up the last 3 versus Atlanta. The Hawks, they coming off a bad loss over there at the house. You know what I'm saying? This is a back-to-back home games for them. They went and got smacked by the Bulls. You know what I'm saying? You look at what they're saying. Every single game so far is for the Hawks as well has went under. I'm not betting the under in this one. If I had to take a play in this one, and I'm pretty close Coast, man. I hadn't got there yet. I like the Hawks in this spot, man. I'm still not a fan of the Kings. I mean, this is the last game of their road trip. They've been hanging in with teams. They hung in there against the Raptors. Late in the fourth quarter there, they're 3-0 ATS last 3 games. Still not a fan of Walton. I'm not a fan of laying points with them on the road. You're not asking them to stay close in the game. You pretty much ask them to win the game. I mean, this Hawks team isn't the Knicks. You're not finna just come over there and smack them around. And they coming off a loss as well. You know, they coach, hey, he's smacking chairs around all on the play by the players and stuff. It'll be interesting to see how these young players from the Hawks respond to that. Will they come out and play, or will they be like, hey, screw the coaches, man? You want them there injure me, flipping the chair on my foot, man? You see how Trae Young just gradually, you know what I'm saying, moved it over? That was pretty crazy there, man. But I think that the Hawks could bounce back here at the house. Any thoughts on this game, Jordan? Jordan, I think you got your mute on.
How's that? Can y'all hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you, bro.
My bad. I had to cough for a second. I forgot to turn it back on. If I'm going a direction in this one, I think I'm actually going the opposite direction. And that scares me a little bit because you've been so good lately and I've been so shit. So I'm a little scared off of the Kings here in the first half. But right now, I think I'm not only chasing the steam, but I think these two teams are both like, at least the Hawks, I think, are as a big regression candidate. And they've lost 4 of their last 5. They're without their best player. Trae Young can't do it all the time. Teams are going to figure out how to guard him. And going against De'Aaron Fox tonight is not going to make his life any easier. They're going to key in on Trae in defense. I would not be surprised if they double team him and force the ball out of his hands. Luke Walton is not good, but I think he's smart enough to realize how he's going to win this game. And it's going to be to pound the ball inside with his guys that are much quicker and much bigger now with only Alex Lynn really is the only interior spot that these Hawks have right now. I think that the Kings, they have the shooting advantage, they have the offensive advantage, they have the defensive advantage, they have a lot of advantages over this team. The question is whether or not they just come out and play, and I think they do tonight. The Hawks, to me, the way they looked against the Bulls, I cannot trust them right now. I think that they're a little bit of an aberration with how they've been playing defensively. I don't think that's going to hold at all. Their defense has been basically the only thing holding them together, and they've still lost 4 of their last 5 games. So I think they're in a letdown spot here. Actually, I'd be in favor of the Kings first half, if anything, in this game.
You say you think the Hawks are in a letdown spot off their loss, the 20-point loss at home versus the Bulls? You think that's a letdown spot?
I think it's not only a letdown spot. I think it's a trend on what's to come. I don't think this team is as good without John Collins as what they've been playing so far without John Collins.
Yeah, I can see that. One thing I can't say about the Kings,
what offense
they don't have a lot of
that's
bigs.
been any good. Like
the Kings don't have a lot of bigs.
Not as good as I think is what it's made out to be.
Yeah, the Kings, they don't have a lot of bigs, and Deadman is questionable in this game as well. He may not even play. You're looking at Rashad Holmes being your starting center over there. It'll be interesting to see, but I can't say these two teams, I think they match up pretty evenly. They're pretty much all offensive guards. They like to shoot, like to run a fast pace, and don't really have an inside game. Any thoughts on this game from you, Junior?
No, this is a stay-away game for me. I have no idea what the Hawks are. I watched a little bit of that Chicago game. They just came out frozen in the first half and frozen in the beginning of the second half. So I don't think – that game was really weird in the sense that the final score, that game was actually more out of hand than that final score even indicated. Chicago was really laying a smackdown on these guys, and I just think that right now Trae Young just has to do too much for these guys. I think that at the same time, I'm not ready to back the Kings on the road. So if you're asking me which way would I would lean with Atlanta simply because I don't trust the Kings enough to back them on the road. Atlanta has played pretty frisky defense. I agree with something Jordan said, that the teams that they've played against, it might be a little bit of fool's gold because they look good defensively because they played against some bad offensive teams. The Kings have pieces to put up a lot of points against Atlanta. So if Atlanta could shut them down, it would be another, I guess, notch on their belt defensively. But at the same time, I just can't believe in the Kings until I see them string together a couple of consistent performances. And they've definitely not done that at all this season. So it's a stay away from me.
Exactly. And you got 3, the way I look at it, you got 3 scorers on the Kings over there. You got Fox, you got Hield, and you got Bogdanovich off the bench. That's pretty much it. I mean, the rest of the players are pretty much defensive players, energy guys. I don't know, man. I mean, like I say, the Kings lately look better these past 3 games. I don't want to force it. I mean, if it's me, if I'm getting a free bet, it's Atlanta money line for me. I'm not laying points. I'm not a fan of the Kings, period, on the road, let alone laying points. I'm going to ask them to win the game by 3 points. I'll be looking towards Atlanta plus the 2.5 and the money line. I think they can win this game. Like I say, they're at the house. They just got their ass kicked. I think this is a bounce back spot for them, at least early on in the game. But we'll see. The Bulls just came ready to play in the game, came out there and smacked them. But I mean, it's not a marquee game or anything, but I definitely lean to the Hawks money line in that spot, or even take the points. Let's get to this Raptors and Pelicans game. I know Junior gonna have something to say about his Raptors team right here. As we know, it's the rematch from the first game of the season, opening night. The New Orleans Pelicans took them all the way. They took them to overtime. They took them down to the wire. Damn near had a chance to win that game. You know what I'm saying? Obviously didn't cover in overtime, but like I say, this is a revenge spot. The Pelicans are 1-6. They're 1-6 on the season. They lost 2 straight. They showed up against Denver in their last home spot. You know what I'm saying? Denver is not a pushover whatsoever. They had a much better offense than the Raptors. Raptors obviously have a much better defense, can rebound the Pelicans. One thing that it's kind of crazy because the clash of two different styles, and sometimes when you have a defensive team that's not really super great at scoring versus another team that is really great at scoring, sometimes the offense wins if they can get pushing at their pace. I think if this game is at the Pelicans' pace, that's bad for the Raptors. It is the beginning of a nice little road trip. You know what I'm saying? They're gonna have face the Lakers and then the Clippers next. So it's crazy to me because you look at this spread and it's pretty low, and you look at who they play next and you say it could be technically a look ahead spot. It's the first game of a road trip, so really I feel like they should win this game. This is a game that I think they have to win because they might not win the next two, or they probably be competitive, but we'll see. But I think that the Pelicans here might catch some sleeping. If the Pelicans can get the Raptors run up and down, I think that's bad for them. And I think in this particular game at the house, they could eke out the win here. I'm leaning towards the Pelicans money line. Any thought you liking the Raptors, Junior?
I'm going to bet this game live. I'm really actually interested to see how the Raptors come out because this is going to set the tone for their road trip. Like you just mentioned, they play the Lakers on Sunday and then they play the Clippers on Monday before they travel to Portland on Wednesday. So they got some really tough games coming up. I obviously watched the first Raptors game of the season, and I felt like the Pelicans' up and down style really gave the Raptors some problems in this game. Like the Pelicans were running and gunning in that game, jacking up a bunch of threes. And what kind of happened in that game is that the Raptors kind of started doing the same thing, and they just got lucky that Fred VanVleet was going crazy in that game. He hit a bunch of threes. I think he scored like 34 points. Pascal Siakam scored like 30-something points. I just don't think that's like the style that the Raptors want to play. Their offense, though, one thing I wanted to mention about something you said, their offense has been way more efficient recently than it was in the beginning of the season. They're like 8th in offensive rating right now. I just think that this is a tricky spot in the sense that if the Pelicans could get them running up and down, they can hang around. And I just don't like I don't like laying these points with the Raptors right now. I'm probably going to get involved.
Yeah, like Junior said, the last game, VanVleet went off for 34 points in that game, and Siakam went for 34. Both of those two players had to go for 68 points for them to win. I just don't see them duplicating that. Larry had to chunk in 22, and yeah, it was a very emotional night. That is the one thing that's different. The Raptors only played 8 players in that game. I just don't like the way that, the Raptors play a totally different type of style. They like to play a half-court game. They can run and gun, but they like to play a half-court game. And just like Junior said, he knows his team. That's not the way that the Raptors like to play, man. That's what the Pelicans are going to do. I wouldn't be a bit surprised to see the Pelicans. And these are the type of games where the offensive team that doesn't play any defense but only cares about offense, they can tend to run the other team out the gym. And I wouldn't be a bit surprised to see that happening tonight. I don't see VanVleet going for 34 tonight. You know what I'm saying? That's one thing. Siakam, he's going to get his. He can go for 30 again. He had 18 rebounds in the last game. I don't see VanVleet going off. And him and Larry, one of those will have to go off for 30 points. I feel like I say, they combined for 56 in the last one. I just don't see them duplicating that offensive output in this particular game. I like the Pelicans here, man. I think it's a short line for a reason. The Raptors are the better squad. I just have a sneaky feeling that the Pelicans are going to eke this one out. Friday night game at the house. They've been losing. They're in must-win spots as well. Lost the past 2. This is somewhat of a bounce-back spot and somewhat of a look-ahead spot for the Raptors. Any thoughts on this game, Jordan?
I wanted to lean towards the Raptors in this one. Like Junior mentioned earlier, they've had the best offensive efficiency since the end of October here through the first 8-9 days of the last 8 or 9 days, excuse me. So they've been very, very good. Their offense was a little slower, obviously, in the first few games of the season, especially when these two teams met on opening night. But it's another spot for me that I think I got to stay away just because I really can't trust either team to cover the spread at this point. I think it's tough for me to trust Toronto if they can't establish pace and be the team that slows this game down and keeps the Pelicans grounded. If they start playing an amped up pace with this team, I think it's over for them. I'd be very concerned about them covering the full game here. So I like where your head's at. Maybe I was going to lean if I had a lean, I'd probably lean towards Toronto first half and then Pelicans on the full game here, money line. But yeah, it's just tough for me to make a play on either of these two teams right now. Just a whole lot of unknown. Like you said, New Orleans coming in losing 2 straight. Toronto could be looking ahead. So it's just a lot of spots where I'm just not really comfortable with in this one.
Exactly, and Nairobi Pittman says, and Nairobi, my guy too. He always hollering at me on Twitter, man, watching the show, retweeting my stuff. A real cool guy. I'm just Nairobi say he just on Raptors first half. That's all. You know what I'm saying? I can understand that. 77 figure says Rap defense overrated. Them dudes gave up 120 plus points to the Kings. Yeah, the Kings. That's somewhat they like to do the same thing, run up and down the floor, and you see they damn near came back and versus the Raptors over there. Cuban Canay say, J Money, what up, bro? Great show. Hey, appreciate it, man. Darren Gardner says he's a big body. Where's one of these guys said who's going to score for the Pelicans? Or have you seen him play? Everybody can score. Have you seen Ingram? He dropped 40 points versus the Nets the past game, bro. He said, who's going to score? The way their team likes to play, they don't necessarily have a superstar, which Ingram is their superstar right now without Zion. Their whole team scores. You know what I'm saying? But this isn't a big game. And like I say, I have a heavy lean to the Pelicans here. And if I do play it, it will be the Pelicans money line. That's the only way that I could look at it for the full game. I feel like the Pelicans correlate with the over. If you like the Raptors in this game, that correlates with the under. That's just the way that I'm looking at it. If the Raptors are winning this game, they're not going to push the pace up and down the court with the Pelicans. So it's either Raptors and under or it's Pelicans and over. And I'm pretty sure you guys agree with that. The Warriors and T Wolves game, not even get into that. Then Teague is ruled out as well. They might not even have both of their point guards with Napier as well. I'm staying away from that one. Let's see. I want to get to this Bucks and Utah game. I definitely have to get to this one. I feel like everybody's going to be on the Bucks here, and I mean, why not? You know what I'm saying? The Bucks are obviously one of the best teams over there in the East. This isn't a particularly good spot for them. They don't bowl well in Utah whatsoever. They're only 2-17, 2-17 ATS last 19 games in Utah. Last game that they played over there, Giannis had 43 points and Middleton had 29. They still lost that game. Obviously, that was a different Jazz team, but I think that this one is even better. Donovan Mitchell went for 46 points in that game. They couldn't stop him. The Jazz are 4-0 at home. They're holding opponents to 94 points per game. They're number 2 in defense. I think if they have an answer for Giannis here and they pack their paint like we know as they are, have Gobert in there as the defensive anchor, I think that the Jazz can pull this one out. This is the third game of a 4-game road trip for the Bucks. They coming off a huge win versus the Clippers over there. I think this is a nice little letdown spot for them versus a very good defensive team who we know that Giannis struggles against teams like Utah, which he has. They hadn't won over there in Utah in forever. Utah is a damn good home crowd, and the Bucks have one more home game, a road game on this road trip, and it's against OKC. They probably win that game. I see them winning that game versus OKC and losing this one. Any thoughts on this game, Jordan?
This is one of those stay away spots for me. I had a couple leans on this game, but the lines just go in the opposite direction of where I lean. So I mean, like I said, I would think that Utah is probably the play, but then all this money's been coming in on Milwaukee. That being said, I can't really tell whose money is coming in on Milwaukee right now. Obviously, they're a public darling, much like a team here playing the late spot that we'll probably get to talk about here in just a minute, playing a team off the back-to-back. But yeah, no, big slate for me. This is one of those games where it could go either way. I think it's really close. I think it's going to be probably a hotly contested one. But your Milwaukee being at the end of that road trip does scare me here a little bit with them laying 3 points against a defense that could really, really do some damage against them. I think Royce O'Neal is going to be a really interesting matchup against Giannis tonight. I think if he could play an upscale job on Giannis, keep him to 20, 22 points or something like that, Jazz could definitely win this game outright, but just not something that I'm willing to bet on because, once again, you're betting against Giannis Antetokounmpo, and it's just not really a good spot for that. So I'm probably staying away from this game. What about you, Junior?
I'm not touching this game, but if I did, I would lean towards the under 217.5. I feel like if the Jazz want to win this game, it has to stay under that total. I think that the Jazz also have the tools to slow Giannis down. We've seen the Raptors kind of show the NBA the blueprint on how to slow Giannis down. I like your look there with Royce O'Neal. He's an underrated defender who has like the physical tools to at least bother Giannis, right? Like nobody could stop him, but he could bother him. Rudy Gay is the ultimate help. I'm sorry, Rudy Gay. Rudy Gobert, my bad guys. Rudy Gobert is the ultimate help defender. I feel like the three road games in a row here, I just don't like this spot for Milwaukee at all. I feel like if anything, this is like you punt this one, go to Oklahoma City, smack them boys up, head home. Because after that home game against Chicago, they got 3 more road games that they got to head out on. So they got a really tough stretch right now where they're playing. I think 7 of their 8 games are on the road. Of all the games that they'll probably lose, this looks like the spot where they probably do for a letdown, in my opinion. So I lean towards the under 217.5 if I were to touch this game.
Exactly, and I like that look too. I like that. I mean, obviously, Jazz going to have to keep this game under. We know that the Bucks are one of the highest, scoring teams in the league, but I think it slows down tonight. They're not. I don't see them really running and gunning. We know it's a higher altitude out there in the Jazz. One of the main reasons why they have this such a good home court advantage, and just like Mally Mal say in the chat, which I already told you guys, the Bucks, the Jazz absolutely own the Bucks, man, especially in Utah, and that's what's been happening. I mean, it could change in this particular spot, but going against the public with all the variables, road trip coming off a huge win versus the Clippers, which they let the Clippers come back. They was blowing them out by 20 points at halftime and let them come back and make a respectable game. You see how Patrick Beverly, players like that are up in, the Bucks face, we're going to see a lot of that tonight versus Utah. They love packing the paint. That's their main thing, force you to be a shooter. We'll see if Giannis can hit 4 threes again. They're going to need Middleton go off as well. Again, like I say, they combined for 82 points in that last game, and they still lost versus the Jazz. So I like the Jazz here, and I'm be taking them on the money line. I can't say I did already take the plus 2.5, but I'm gonna hop them on them on the money line as well. I'm gonna wait to take that one because I know this one could touch possibly 4. Everybody's going to bet on the Bucks here, and I love going against everybody, quite frankly. I want to go and get to another one of these games, another spot where I think a team's gonna be motivated. A little scary. The Blazers went over here and scared. Get this, it's Nets and Blazers game. They went over here and lost to the Warriors, man. Team of misfits. It was at the house, and they hadn't won a home game yet. But the Blazers was favored by 12 points in that game with everybody playing. No back-to-back, nothing. Coming out, play our revenge, all that. No, absolutely no way you could lose that game versus the Warriors. That scares me here. It really does. They've lost 3 straight games. They don't look good. Whiteside is getting trashed. I mean, he doesn't look good whatsoever. You trying to get paid some money, man. You come out playing like that, lackluster defense. It's tough, man. I mean, hopefully, Whiteside is the type of guy that pays attention to like ESPN and all that type of stuff. Hopefully, he sees Shaq absolutely ripping them and come to play tonight. They're gonna need the whole team tonight. They played a nice game last night versus the Clippers. Like I say, should have covered that game, but a couple of late free throws, a couple of late missed shots and free throws ended up getting the Clippers to cover in that spot. I think the Blazers are gonna come out here hot. They absolutely have to. They've only had 2 home games. They lost both of them. They're gonna come out here hot tonight. We see some of these teams that's coming off a loss in the first game of the back-to-back come out hot the next game. I like the Blazers in the first quarter and first half. I'm not sure about the full game. I like them in the full game, but that's the one I hadn't took yet. The Nets coming cross country, hadn't played last 3 games. I think they come out here slow. I know the Blazers come out here hot, ready to win. Legs still fresh, from last night. Second half, it could weigh on them. I love the Blazers in the first quarter and first half here. We're going to need Whiteside, but just -1 and -1.5 for the first half. I'm on the Blazers here to come out hot Friday night. Damn good home crowd. Needing of a must win off of 3 straight losses. What you liking in this game, Jordan?
Oh man, it's probably a stay away spot for me, but I am intrigued by this game. I might end up betting it, but I'm not really there yet because for a few reasons. One, like you said, Portland's coming off a back-to-back, even though they are motivated. It's just not a very good front court right now outside of Whiteside, and when he's not engaged, I mean, this is a team that's giving Mario Hezonja and Skal Labissiere heavy minutes. Like, it's just not going to go really well long term when they're missing 2 of their 3 best big men. And it's just I'm not really ready to trust them yet. I especially on the back-to-back. You know what I mean? Like that's kind of the only thing that's holding me up because in theory and in numbers wise, like yeah, they should really come out and be motivated to win this game and come out and take a team that plays absolutely zero defense and is going to likely could be without DeAndre Jordan tonight and take them to the cleaners and really come back from that a game they probably should have hung around and maybe even won last night. So they scare me a little bit. I'm not ready to do it just yet, but yeah, if I had to lean, I think I'd lean on Portland full game, but I'm a little scared off right now on the quarter and the half just because you don't know how they're going to come off of that game last night.
Exactly. Any thoughts on this game, Junior?
I have no official play, but I'm leaning Brooklyn money line. I just want to piggyback off something Jordan said. Since the beginning of the season, since we started doing this show, I've been telling y'all, Portland's front line is trash, bro. It's garbage. Like, it's not good at all. And that being said, the reason I lean towards Brooklyn in this game is Brooklyn is, I'm not going to say top heavy, but Spencer Dinwiddie, Karis LeVert, and Kyrie Irving jack up a lot of shots. They're high usage guys. Everything that Brooklyn does starts and ends with those three. And I think that Portland coming off a back-to-back, they're going to have a hard time. Their guards are not even really good defensively as it is. I feel like they're going to have a hard time staying in front of Brooklyn's guys. I think Kyrie cooks these guys for 40 tonight. I think Karis LeVert's going to go crazy. I just like Brooklyn all over here. Brooklyn hasn't played since Monday. Portland played a really tough game last night. I'm just kind of looking at the spot. It's not an official play, but I'm leaning towards Brooklyn money line in this spot.
Exactly. And one thing I can tell you, it's a big step down in defense. The Nets don't play they're not a good defensive team, and that's the main reason why. If you watch the Blazers, they don't have a good front court whatsoever. And like somebody said in the chat, Anthony Tolliver is not a started power forward in this league, and I definitely agree with that. I think in this particular game, in plenty of Blazers games, you see where Dame and CJ go, that's where the team goes. I'm not gonna say it doesn't matter about the big guys, but we've seen this team even past last year in the playoffs when they lost their big guy out there. Can't think of his name right here off the top of my head, but y'all know who I'm talking about, man. Their starting center over there. He went out. They had a couple of players. It's by committee. You know what I'm saying? It's by committee by them. If they're hitting their threes, they're hitting their shots. They got a damn good home court advantage here. I think the Nets not playing for 3 days is not that's not good for them in this spot. Yeah, you can practice and all that. You can't simulate game action. I think they come out slow here is the reason why I'm strong on this first quarter and first half. I know the Blazers will come out hot. They have a damn good home court advantage. And like I say, them playing last night, I think that was just getting them warmed up. You know what I'm saying? Getting them warm. In the second half, it's going to make a difference. Maybe the Nets can make a comeback in the second half. But I think this first quarter and first half is for the Blazers to win. I think that they're shooting their guard play. If CJ and Dame come to play, logo Dame comes to play, I think that they can cover this first quarter and first half with ease. And they may get up by so much that the Nets can't come back. Not a fan of this Nets team whatsoever right now. They're not really gelling. It's Kyrie and then it's everybody else. I hope Kyrie does go for 40 tonight because usually they lose those games. So I'm liking the Blazers here. I'm really liking them first quarter, first half, and full game. But right now, my money is on the first quarter -1 and first half -1.5. And I do like the Blazers the full game -2.5. I just hadn't betted yet. One more game I know a lot of people have been talking about. So I do have a spot on this 76ers and Nuggets game just real quick for me. I'm on the first half under in that game. I know the total is ticked up from 210.5 to 212, but still with no Ben Simmons in this game, two defensive teams in high altitude. The Nuggets have the last pace in the league. I'm on the first half under 105.5 in this game. I think they get off to a slow start. Maybe they figured out in the second half 76ers without Simmons, but it's going to hurt their offense in the first half, and I don't see them running and gunning like they usually do with Simmons out there. And if you guys have anything to say about this Miami and Lakers heat, I'll let you take it away, Jordan, and then Junior, you can go.
I don't really have a play on the late game. I know that the Lakers have been seeing a ton of money so far. Once again, kind of not sure whose money that is just yet because, this Heat team, even though they are coming off a back-to-back, and they probably will be without Justice Winslow tonight, which I think really hurts. I wouldn't be surprised either way this one, so I'm staying away from that late game. I do a play on an earlier one we didn't get to touch on. I'm on the over first quarter in Cleveland and Washington at 56.5. It's ticked up to 57 at some shops right now. Washington Washington is just playing at an extremely fast pace right now. First quarter, you can check out my write up on this one on SBR.com as well. That should be up shortly as well. So I know we're running close to time, but that's my only real official play on any of these games today, other than Sacramento first half. What about you, Junior?
I got Miami plus 8.5. I just think that even though it's a tough spot for them on the second half of a back-to-back, I just like the way that their team overall matches up with the Lakers. I think Bam Adebayo, listen, nobody can stop Anthony Davis. That's pretty obvious. But Bam Adebayo has been a lot better defensively than people are giving him credit for. I think he can make Davis work. Again, he can't stop him, but nobody can stop him. So that's just an obvious statement. I feel like the Justice Winslow thing, that's a problem because he's the one guy physically. Again, nobody can match up with LeBron, but Justice Winslow's a really, really good one-on-one defender. He could at least make LeBron work. LeBron's looking like he's in midseason form to start the season, so that's going to be tough. But I just think overall, if you just look at up and down the roster, Miami has just like a more balanced roster, if you want to look at it that way. Like Dragic and Tyler Hero, I think, are going to cook these Lakers guys off the bench. I just like Miami plus the points. I think the Lakers win the game, but I think that Miami does enough. Miami plays enough defense and they're efficient enough on offense that I think that they can hang around and cover plus 8.5.
Yeah, I could definitely see it. That one moving up to 9 now, Junior. That one moved up to 9, man. I'm staying away. It's a total stay away game for me. If I was to take the Heat in that one, I would be looking towards the first half. It was a pretty big game from them last night. They were blowing out the Suns, then kind of let it get close again, and then had to put more energy into trying to blow them out again. So it's one that I'm staying away from. I lean towards the under there, like I told you guys on Jimmy's show. It ended up going, since I said that, went from 218 to 216.5. So I probably missed out there not hopping on that under, but it's a stay away game from me. A game that I love to watch, but not one that I'm betting on. When I got a lot of money on the game, I can't watch it anyway, man, because I want everything to go my way, and that's just not going to happen. You know what I'm saying? So my favorite spots of the day, man, I'm going with motivational spots where I know these teams are going to come out hot, you know what I'm saying, or supposed to come out hot, and I know they'll be coming out focused. I know nobody will like it, but I'm on the Magic in the first quarter. I think they come out hot. Me personally, I think they carried out through the whole game. I know that the Grizzlies have been 7-0 ATS this year in the first half, but I think it comes to an end tonight. The Magic come to play here and play that stifling defense, their offense will get going against a bad defensive team like the Grizzlies. I'm on the Magic in the first quarter. Don't be a bit surprised to see them blow the shit out the Grizzlies here the whole game and lose those first half bets for the Grizzlies backers as well. I think the Cavs will be pesky tonight. I did end up getting on them last night small, plus the 5, it was last night, it was sitting at 5. I think that the Cavs can win this game. Just a small play for me. I'm all over the Pacers here. Double revenge game J here. Pacers first quarter minus 2.5. Pacers first half minus 4, and Pacers full game minus the 7. It says 7.5 now. Lean towards the Hawks money line that game, lean towards the Pelicans money line that game. I'm on the Jazz plus 2.5. I'm taking the money line as well. I'm on the first half under the 76ers and Nuggets game 105. And I like the Blazers here. Come out hot, man, off 2 straight home losses. Hadn't won a home game yet. They'll come out hot tonight. If they damn near beat the 76ers, I think they can come out hot versus this next team. Hadn't played in 3 days. Give me the Blazers in the first quarter -1 and the first half -1.5. We appreciate you guys for tuning in, man. I posted a link to tomorrow's show already, so y'all come in and tune in with us tomorrow again and jam with J Money, and let's get some more money tomorrow, man. We appreciate everybody for tuning in. Y'all do so every single day from 1 p.m. Eastern, 10 o'clock Pacific. We appreciate you guys for jamming with J Money. Deuces.